What you're looking at here today is the A-6 tram intruder. This is something I've been wanting to design for maybe 5 years now, and finally getting around to doing it. It's just an interesting aircraft to me. It just had a different look than any other jet you'd really think of, at least in terms of military. It almost doesn't look like a military jet to me. But yeah, there's stuff about it I just really wanted to tackle, see how it would turn out in Lego form. And mostly just the nose, and working back, the nose was just such an interesting shape to me. So bulbous and also sleek. And it was very interesting to look at sort of the bulbous top of it, and then looking at the front of it, how it really tapers down to a point just in front of the intakes. So that's something I really wanted to try in Lego form, and now that years have gone by and Lego has come out with so many new pieces, it was a lot easier to create that nose shape and other aspects of the model that just really clean it up. And Lego did a really good job of making new wedges, new curved wedges, new curved slopes all over the place, really. As always, I started with the nose in my design and worked my way back, and it was so satisfying, I have to tell you. When I was designing this and trying to fit the intakes in and have this nose pitched down a little bit to make better use of the curvature of these pieces, because this top piece was like the perfect specifications, but it needed to be mounted at a slight angle down, which I was able to achieve with some new angled Lego Technic connectors, just to get a real subtle pitch down. And that was enough to at least make the top profile of it, or the side profile, fit that curved piece. So that was a great starting point. And then from there, it's just like 5 pieces in total that really make up the shape of that nose, with these big curved wedges on the sides, and then some of the newer like 2x5 wedges underneath. And then just really simple classic Lego slopes on the front, and that was the whole nose. So I was really happy with that. And then the transition behind that into the intakes, everything just fit so snug and so close, and the tolerances are just beautiful. It was so satisfying. And then finally being able to build it in Lego form and the physical form that you see now. This is the prototype. It really turned out great. Using some of the Technic panels here to transition, really just hiding the gaps that were there with building the nose out of grid. You know, it's not a straight line, it's pitched down a little bit. So there's a lot of creative techniques in here that just kind of fell into place. I think the only other model I would say that has some of the more advanced techniques was the Rafale that I think we made in 2021 or 2022. Some models demand more creative solutions than some models that are more simple and straightforward. So yeah, this is probably the model that has the most advanced features that I've ever put into a Lego vehicle. I mean, aircraft aside. Aircraft have to do a lot of different things, and this one had to do a lot of different things, being a Navy plane and having to land on an aircraft carrier. Things like a resting hook and the wings fold, and having posable leading edge slats. But this was different than any other Navy plane I've really done, in how much the wings do. How much I really wanted to accomplish and make posable. So I was really satisfied with how that turned out. So I'll get right into that and show you some of the features. So the wings do fold up on this hinge here, and then there's, on the main section of the wing, before the side that folds up, there's one portion of leading edge slat, and then on the outside of the wing, there's the second one. And then on the inner part of the wing, there's a spoiler on top that is posable. Everything's always easier when you're not doing it on camera. But here we go. Yeah, both sections fold up, as well as on the back side there's posable flaps, and on the very tip of the wings there's split brakes. That's something, I don't know if the original Intruders had that also, but I know they did have dive brakes on the side here, and in models going forward they eliminated that and they just kind of like bolted on a piece to cover that gap that was made. I don't know why they didn't just keep them, but whatever, you know, maybe it cut some weight removing some hydraulics, I don't know. But newer models like this one, they just had a bolted plate over where that brake would have been. Yeah, so the wings do a lot of stuff, very satisfying. I can't tell you how great, how happy I am that that turned out. But I don't know how many vehicles have that. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do that going forward. Having these spoilers for sure is mainly what I'm talking about. I've had slats and flaps and brakes before, but it ended up being really clean. Turned out, yeah, really fun, really happy, really happy. There's some really subtle shaping here where the intakes meet up with the, or on the cockpit, on the fuselage. So go and look at the actual model, the real aircraft, and you can see some of this subtle shaping right around here that I was able to incorporate. And it really just happened to work out that way. It wasn't, you know, planned for the best, and this one ended up just fitting. The canopy does slide back and retract, and there's space for 2 minifigures in there, as well as a detailed cockpit area. And when I designed this windshield, again, everything just fit just right into place. So usually there's some guesswork with some things you build in Lego form, you know, trying to angle finicky little pieces around and trying to meet what the instructions are calling for, and that can get annoying. You know, like me, I designed it, I know how to do it, but trying to describe that through just images in an instruction can be difficult, and you know, the customer can probably find that frustrating. I know I can find that frustrating when I'm building a Lego model. So in this instance, this takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. Everything on this windshield is supported, so you don't have to guess what angle it fits at. You just put it in place and twist it down, and it makes a strong connection. It's supported all the way around. You can't really push the glass pieces in. So and then this refueling nozzle too, that fits the same angle for that bracer in the middle between the 2 panels here, and that also holds the angle for the refueling nozzle. It just worked out so great. Oh, such a relief. I was able to create a twisting feature with the landing gear, because the landing gear kind of has to tuck up into the fuselage, which I've had to fight on other vehicles before. I think the MiG-29 has that, where I just sort of had it pull out on an axle and twist down. This one actually has a twisting feature, so I'll probably play with that more going forward in models that will call for it, because it ended up being really sturdy and kind of a fun play feature to pull the wheel out and then sort of twist it back, and then it gives you clearance around the fuselage, and then it can lock back into place and support the weight of the vehicle. Again, this is a tricycle landing gear vehicle, so it needs to be nose heavy. So I was able to accomplish that again. It does sit on its landing gear without help of supporting the tail. Going back, oh, on the underside of the fuselage is really cool too. There's a lot of fun shaping, and it was a very difficult area to shape, where the intakes transition into the exhaust. So that, I think that turned out really well. Going back, there is an arrestor hook that is well hidden under the tail section here. And it's sort of like a Y bar shape. And then going back on tail features, I have posable elevators on each side, as well as a posable rudder. And that rudder is very smooth. It works real nice. And I got really creative with assembling this area just so I could fit that little antenna. There's a lot of interesting techniques garbled into that vertical stabilizer to maintain the shape there and also have a little spot for that antenna. So all in all, if you love cool techniques, I would highly recommend getting this model. You can check out more at brickveteran.com. Like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.